What is up, everyone? My name is Joseph, and welcome back to another BossCast episode. In today's episode, we're going to be killing a little bit of Vorkath. The reason I am so interested in killing this boss, not only because someone suggested it, so I knew there was inherent desire to see this boss killed at a low level of proficiency, but also because I need that Avas. I'm realizing that any little amount of help I can get in the Inferno is going to just go absolute miles. So I'm going to do what I can to make those small changes. And the first one is the Avas, the upgraded Avas. I did the quest recently, and I didn't really think like I was going to necessarily just go straight for the Vorkath kills, but between me needing a break from the Inferno and the fact that my last Inferno attempt that ended on wave 61 ended by me not killing a small blob fast enough, made me think that just a little bit of extra DPS is going to go a long way. So today we're going to be killing Vorkath. I currently have 6 KC. I don't actually know if that's correct. And the setup we're going with is pretty, I want to say pretty standard for like a one attempt or one kill trip. I have a Dragon Warhammer switch. Let's not take damage here while I'm explaining. And let's turn off. Okay. Sorry. I'm still not fully used to this boss. Again, 6 kills, 4 deaths, so 10 total attempts. Things are still a little bit rusty, so bear with me during the early parts of this video. Well, I was saying, I think I was talking about how my gear is a little bit more of like a low level, 1 kill per trip kind of setup. I have a Dragon Warhammer, which I'm using purely out of convenience. I've heard that the BGS is better in a lot of situations, but I don't have a BGS, and my cash stack is like enough to buy one, and I'd rather not tie up all my money in a BGS right now. So that's really the reason I don't have a BGS. So I'm using a Dragon Warhammer with some pretty simple switches. I'm just trying to get the most like strength bonus possible out of not having, or like that I can. I know like using melee, like Void melee would be a lot less switches and probably better for the accuracy. But I don't have it, and I didn't want to spend the time to get it just for like a maximum of 50 kills, because you are guaranteed the head at KC 50. So I didn't think it was worth it to go for Void. So that's kind of like the reason for these melee switches. And then my range switches is just Elite Void with a Salve, Enchanted, and Imbued. So pretty straightforward. I'm like hesitant to show this because like I don't know when I'm gonna need to eat food or something, but hopefully you were able to get a good look at the gear if you're interested in what some low level / learning gear. I would say this is pretty decent like learning gear. It has a lot of room for like extra food and extra supplies, but still does a decent amount of damage and isn't too expensive. So if you're looking for something like early like learning gear, this isn't a bad option, I would say. Again, we are teleporting out. We do have like quite a bit of food after that kill, and we probably theoretically could go for another one, but I'm safer, and I feel safer if I teleport out after each one, repop back up, at least until I'm a little bit more comfortable at this boss. I think for at least probably the first 20 or 30 KC, I'm going to take things a little bit more slowly, just because I do want to reduce the amount of deaths I have, and I really want to make sure that I'm learning everything I can about this boss, and instead of trying to like push my luck. I want to make sure that, you know, all my attempts are solid attempts, and I don't want to like push myself like, oh, I have to make sure I have enough supplies to get another kill or else I'm bad. Like I want to make sure that I'm taking it one step at a time, taking it slowly so I can actually learn this boss effectively. So that's why things will be a little bit slower. So I apologize that these kills will be a little bit slower paced, but I think overall it'll be worth it. I'll give you a good idea of what my bank looks like, and that's pretty important in case you ever wanna mirror my bank setup. You'll have ample opportunity after watching this video, because every kill you will see multiple taps of my bank. But again, the reason we're doing this, I think I said it was for the Avas, and I really do have Inferno as like my end goal, as like everything I do kind of leads up to the Inferno, because that is really what my main goal is and really what I want to focus on. And that's really the reason that motivated me to even do this quest, because you should know how much I absolutely dislike quests. So I felt like if if it was motivation enough to actually do the quest, it should be motivation enough to kill the boss. So here we are. We got one Dragon Warhammer spec on this, which is like good. I don't want to downplay one spec because it's better than 0 specs. Obviously not as good as 2 specs, but the diminishing based, I don't have the right prayers on, do I? Based on like the diminishing returns of how the Dragon Warhammer works, the benefit of one spec is higher than the benefit of the second spec. So we got over half of the total possible effectiveness of our Dragon Warhammer, if that makes any sense. So far in my, even the little amount of KC I've had on this boss, I have like mixed feelings about it. Like I do enjoy it. I think the mechanics are interesting and fairly unique. There are some things that I'm not too thrilled with. Like for example, the little guy you have to crumble undead. It seems like to be very, very precise when there's a lot of factors that could throw you off by one tick, and then he just ends up being next to you and explodes. I don't want to really blame the game for that because, you know, that falls on me as much as anything. It's just, I guess that would be one thing that I'm not like completely thrilled with on this boss. So like if I had to pick one thing that I just really didn't like, it'd be that whole situation. And you'll notice I'm not like Wooks walking, I think is what it's called, during the poison. Again, I have so little KC that's like lower on my list of things to learn, or a list of things to make sure I'm doing. I'd rather play it safe and just take as little damage as possible during these poison phases than push myself to learn more advanced mechanics. I want to take things at my pace so I know that I'm doing things as well as I can and I'm not rushing. Because I personally have a pretty big problem with rushing into things and biting off more than I can chew, which is kind of what I'm coming to realize with the Inferno, that originally I don't think I really anticipated everything that the Inferno was. Like I obviously knew it was going to be difficult, but just based on my like lack of research before time, like ahead of time before I even started the series, I don't think I fully realized like how much of an investment it was really going to be. I think we can get this kill without drinking a prayer potion. We can. But I'm having fun with the Inferno. My frustration really just comes from the fact that it's a grind. And it's not anything I'm like upset about, inherently upset about. It's just something that, you know, it's progress. And it's the frustration that comes with progressing with something that's new and difficult. So I'm happy about the challenge, and it's frustrating in more of like an encouraging and motivational kind of way, not frustrating in like, oh, I'm going to quit this game kind of way. I have been admittedly playing less RS than like normal while doing the Inferno, and that's purely because I know doing non-Inferno activities is going to make me want to do more non-Inferno activities. So I want to keep my motivation to focus on Inferno as much as possible, because after, it's not just because, you know, Inferno is difficult and it's, you know, demotivating me. It's because doing one activity for so long makes you realize how much you enjoy other activities. So I want to try to not get into the mindset of like, oh, I enjoy this other activity. And I really want to keep my mindset focused on the Inferno. So that's why I've been like focusing only on that and admittedly playing a little bit less. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because again, my goal is Inferno. And it's not like I'm pushing that off for other things. I'm just trying to make sure I don't push off that for other in-game things. Because, I mean, I have other like goals that I want to work on in old school RuneScape. And I know like once I get started, I'm the kind of person who like when I get a goal, like I want to see it through. So I'm not going to have piety for this spec, which kind of blows. And I could have. It was just out of pure laziness. I didn't turn that back on. because he disabled my prayer, and then I just turned my quick prayers on, which has rigor selected. Anyway, I'm the type of person who, when I have a goal, I want to see it through. So if I start myself on another goal, I'm going to want to see that through similar to how I want to see the Inferno through. So I don't want to get caught in a trap of constantly just hopping around different goals just because I can't immediately complete this one in the shortest amount of time possible. So, but overall, I'd say I'm having fun with it. I'm definitely like learning, progressing, and seeing my progress visible, not only in like the wave counter, because I haven't made a new personal best in a while. Part of that is because I've been like busy like in real life and haven't had like the pure time to put into it that I did the first 2 weeks of my Inferno attempts. But part of it's because there's a lot of mechanics that go into it, and there's a lot of mechanics to learn past just like progressing waves. For example, there's something like when I got my personal best of 63, wave 63, I got a lot of lucky spawns, to be honest, and I was much worse at the Inferno than I am now. But now I'm having trouble getting to wave 63 because I'm focusing so much on those mechanics that I wasn't even aware of previously. So, I mean, there is a lot of learning that goes into it. I might take damage here, to be honest. He hit a 0. I don't know what the exact mechanics, because he's been hitting 0. Like, the last 3 times that has happened to me, he's hit a 0. I don't know if it's like if you kill him at the last possible second, he explodes a 0 or what. But yeah, I am focusing a lot on like the mechanics I wasn't even aware existed, you know, back when I got my personal best or back when I was originally grinding out Inferno. So there's a lot of things that I've been going through, but I think I'm very close. I think I'm like on the verge of a breakthrough, and once I get over this hump, I'll be able to reliably get to Zuck. And that's pretty big for me, because if I can reliably get to Zuck, yeah, it tells me I'm doing something right. And like honestly, after now having done the research, Zuck is like, I feel like if I can make it to Zuck, I can kill him. I feel like the learning curve for the waves is so much steeper than the learning curve for Zuck. So if I can get to Zuck, I'll be pretty happy. If I can get to triple Jads, I'll be pretty happy, because I know I have the knowledge and ability to kill triple Jads. Whether or not it takes me 1 or 7 attempts, I know I can do it. So if I can get to triple Jads reliably and just tell myself like, hey, you can get through these waves, it gives me a little bit of a confidence boost, and I'll be pretty happy with that. And that's really the next hump, is just getting over like the high 50s, low 60s, and really mastering everything I need to for that. So I don't know how I got started on an Inferno rant while killing Vorkath. But yeah, this kill's going pretty well, I would say. We're taking a little bit of like more damage than we would like, but I haven't been like at risk of dying once. What I'm trying to focus on in like while learning Vorkath is like, I'm trying to take it step by step. Like I said, I'm not wooks walking. I'm not doing a lot of like higher mechanical things, taking it slow, but I am trying to like systematically pick off different mechanics, like, or making sure I pay attention to different things. Like, for example, when he freezes you and spawns that guy, making sure to get right on that, know exactly where that little crawler guy, I don't actually know what his name is, what the NPC's name is, but making sure I know exactly where he spawns and, you know, being aware of all that. So I'm not just like always taking the easy way out. I am looking at like improving my base mechanics, and then probably not in this video because it'd be very hard to learn that while actually commentating, but I am slowly working towards, you know, a more efficient kill, so to speak. I'm using less food on average. My kill times are, you know, not great. That was 327. My personal best 216 though. I didn't realize it was that fast. On stream, I was having I learned this on stream, and I was having some pretty slow kill times. So actually, 2 minute 16 kill. I'm pretty happy with. I can't be upset with that. And the fact that, at least for a while, I haven't been like stressed for food. The last time I was really like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough food for this kill, was when I forgot in a anti-venom, and I was taking so much venom damage. And I did run out of food for that. I died on that one only because I misclicked telly, but I was gonna run out of food on that one. But since then, I really haven't had a problem with food, so that's encouraging for me. Like, I know I'm at least doing something right. I'm learning this boss at least a little bit. You might notice I'm not using superior anti-fires. The reason Wow, that was actually really good. Not that it mattered what I hit, but the fact that we hit. The reason I'm not doing it is because the damage amount that it reduces is not significant enough for me to spend the money. Like, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of money on repairs, so I want to reduce my supply cost. Did we get that? We did get that. So I want to reduce my supply cost. And, like, the little amount of damage that the extra damage he does is not worth the extra supply cost, plain and simple. I think there's been one time where it's really screwed me in my 14 or 15 attempts. And, like, other than that, it's been, like, fairly inconsequential, I guess would be the best way to put it. Does he heal when... He heals when you walk over the poison. I don't know how I never noticed that before. Why don't you guys... doing these, like, live commentary BossCasts really just shows, like... Is just going to show everyone how little about this game that I actually know. There are, like, huge areas of this game that I'm just, like, at a complete and total loss for. Especially when it comes to new content. I'll be really honest. I did little to no upfront research when it came to Vorkath. I watched maybe 5 kills total on release day just to see what it's like. And since then, nothing. I think the only thing I did to prepare for this was look up a screenshot of what my inventory should look like in terms of what potions I need. So I was kind of hurting myself a little bit, but, you know, I've picked it up for the most part. I don't think I'm doing anything, like, incredibly... I don't think I'm doing anything wrong that I don't already realize I'm doing wrong. I think the things I'm doing wrong, I already am aware of. So, I think I've picked up at least the idea of the mechanics pretty well. And that's all I can really ask for in myself. I mean, I could ask for perfection, but I like to ask for reasonable things of myself, and I know perfection in old school RuneScape will never be one of them, which is why you'll never see me probably one-tick God Wars bosses. That's something that I've really, like, wanted to learn how to do, you know, as some time in my life. I did not see where he spawned. But I just don't think I'll ever be at the point where I, A, want to devote the time to it, or B, would see the inherent value for me personally to do it. I mean, I think it'd be fun to learn, but I just don't think I would get enough value out of it to make my time worth it. I think like the amount of practice that I'm confident I could learn it, especially for like something like Sarah, where I already have like a decent amount of like experience. I'm sure I could learn it. I don't know if it would like increase my enjoyment of Sarah that much. And I really do enjoy killing Sarah, the Sarah Doman boss. And I have a really good time killing it whenever I do that. That was super inconvenient. And I just don't think one taking it would really do much in terms of like personal enjoyment. And I mean, it would do a little bit monetarily, but I just don't think I'll ever see the value in it personally, unless I like completely run out of goals and have so much extra time and money to spend. I don't see myself doing it. But hey, it's something that interests me. I love watching people do it. I think it's absolutely incredible that people could figure out all of that stuff without like dying a million times. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's something that maybe I could learn and pick up over the course of however many deaths in there practicing. And like the whole like kill count gated entry really puts a damper on me practicing things in God Wars, because there's such like a high cost of death, not just like losing items, which you don't lose items because death mechanics don't exist in this game. Just in terms of having to get kill count again, and ecumenical keys are not an option, because I don't care what anybody tells you, you are going to get PK'd while getting ecumenical keys. Guarantee it, 100%. I risk 10k, and most of that is just in food, and I still get attacked. And it's not like I'm hiding it either. I use, you know, like a god book, blessed vamp races, a stole, like the most budget gear possible, unskulled, and people still attack me. I've gotten 3 men before wearing that gear, and it's just like, I mean, I understand. I'm not complaining that I'm being attacked in the wilderness. Don't take this as like me saying, oh, you don't attack chin PK or don't attack people hunting chins, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I don't enjoy getting PK'd, so I don't go in the wilderness. But it's just like, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle of going into the wilderness to get ecumenical keys. And because of that, I'll never be able to do like long-term practice sessions on God Wars bosses. I mean, those are more or less self-imposed restrictions. Like, yeah, I could go to the wilderness and do it, but it's like, again, it comes down to personal enjoyment value. Is me being in the wilderness for a few hours worth a little bit of a reduced banking time? Probably not for me. I really don't enjoy the wilderness. I actively avoid it as much as possible. Please, dude. I hit zeros with both my specs, and you freaking Sky Fire Blast me right as I'm in melee range? That's mad unlucky. That's also just rude. Like, I don't appreciate it. I'm going to eat the Angler here. It didn't even matter. I was going to say for the overhealing while we're doing nothing, but we weren't even high enough to get the overhealing benefit from it. I know my kill speeds could be like super, you know, greatly reduced by doing damage to him in that time. I'm just not comfortable with it, and it's not a risk I really feel the need to take right now. I mean, I'm only doing this for the head, which is guaranteed at 50, and if I can get 15 kills an hour doing this, like, I'm making enough money to make my time worth it. You know, getting 10 less kills an hour, 10 fewer kills an hour, to where I'm not worried about it. If I was ever to grind this boss as like a money maker, fuck yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to get more kills per hour. But since I'm just doing this for the initial 50 KC, I'm okay with letting myself be a little bit more inefficient for the sake of more or less laziness. I don't want to say it's like complete laziness. It's just more of like, I just don't see it being worth it. I don't see the time investment to me of me doing certain things like learning the Wook's Walk, or, you know, even just doing supplemental damage in this phase. I don't see the time investment of me learning to do that well worth it when I'm only going for 50 kills. So this kill's going real slow. I don't know if I'm just like imagining that or what, but those attacks, he's been doing a lot of those. Maybe I'm getting my kills mixed up, but I feel like he's been doing a lot of those attacks, and I feel like we've been here for an actual year. Like, we actually could do could Warhammer spec him again and not feel bad about it. I will say this, I'm pretty happy with the rate at which I am able to, or the speed at which I'm able to kill those small guys now. Like, my first death was to those guys. I don't know if I talked about it here already. If I did, I apologize for repeating myself. But my first death was to one of those guys, which is funny because, like, that was something that, like, that was one of the only mechanics I knew. I was like, okay, I got to watch out for those small guys. When I'm frozen, you know, get your spell ready. And immediately, like, not even 20 seconds, like 10 seconds into the fight, I just died to one. So going from that to killing them, you know, as, like, perfectly is pretty good to see. It's progress. I like seeing progress in my RuneScape play. Okay, we're not gonna have. Oh, it's so useless. I should have taken the time to swap my prayer. Because now it's just a time waste. If you don't hit anything there, it's a complete waste of time. Because not only did we hit a 0, but we also didn't lower his defense. Something that I did recently, and I gotta talk about this because it's been on my mind forever, and the fact that I hadn't done it previously is just a testament to my forgetfulness. But changing my F keys so I can swap to my prayer and spellbook without having to hit like F6. Like, you can rebind your function keys to the different tabs of your inventory screen here. And for the longest time, like, it'd be so much help in Inferno. Because there's so many times at like the beginning of a wave where I need to cast a spell, switch my gear, switch my prayer. It's just a lot to do all at once. And not every time, but there's so many times after kill where I'm like, okay, I need to either dead click or misclick there. I need to make sure I swap my whatever those are called, key bindings, so I can do those waves a little bit easier. I never did it. And I've been doing Inferno for about a month, on and off, I guess, between vacations and such, breaks of Inferno, breaks of life when I went to California for a holiday adventure. It wasn't much of an adventure. It was more of a trip. I guess an adventure is more like something happens you don't expect or something exciting happens. It was just a casual run of the mill vacation slash trip to see the in-laws. So it wasn't much of an adventure. Nothing super extraordinary happened, but it was a good time. It was a warm time. And I enjoy warm weather more than I enjoy the weather that I have back in my hometown of, I'm not going to tell you what my hometown is, but back in my hometown. So I think we are winding down this episode. Maybe 1 to 2 more kills, depending on, I mean, if we have another kill like that, 1 more kill. But if we have a little bit of a faster kill, maybe, then we'll do 2 more. Now, I don't think I need to really drink an anti-fire every single time, but they're mad cheap, so why not? Actually, before I look like a fool, how much are these? Yeah, they're still mad cheap. It's like, what, 150 coins per dose? I can shell that out. I might not be the richest man in the world, but I can afford that at the very least. Okay, I always have to like second think like, did I forget something? Because there are so many times I've forgotten my anti-venom. So many times, 3 times. Once I teleported out, once I died, once I got the kill. So a little bit of everything there. But I need to always like double check, like, do I have everything? I don't want to get there and then forget something and look like a fool, especially while recording. So I always got to do that mental double check. So I gotta say, the more I do this boss, the more I am actually enjoying it. I think I got that off before he disabled my prayer, but we hit him anyway, so we got a little bit of a defense reduction. I'm changing my opinion. At the beginning of the video, I said that those little small blobs are my least favorite thing. I'm changing it to when he does his fire attack as his very first attack. That is now my least favorite thing of this encounter. If you're reducing his defense and he attacks you with fire, yeah, bad day. It's the start to a bad kill. But we got a little bit of defense reduction, so I can't be too upset. So this kill should be a little bit faster than last kill. I don't think we got any of our specs to work last kill. So we may do 2 more, or 1 more kill after this, before we end the video, today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying this type of commentary slash like video. I don't know why I said slash. It is a commentary video, so it'd be commentary plus video. I've like really had a good time doing it, and it fits well with kind of like what I'm trying to do just in general in terms of like content production. I've been doing a lot more streaming. If you weren't aware, twitch.tv/WYRLOR. I do a little bit of streaming there 2 to 3 times a week. Let's not die here, please. And I guess the main reason is because the style of content that I personally enjoy watching right now and really want to be a part of is kind of this more like just general commentary. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I don't know why I just ate a crombo in there by itself, but whatever. It is a little bit different than, I guess, my normal style of content. But it's not really replacing my normal style of content, which is more like high effort, less frequent video. I'm dead here. Less frequent videos. Okay. Because I still plan to do those more high effort videos. But I do really enjoy doing this type of content, not especially, but also with other games. Like I've made Slay the Spire videos. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to. Fantastic game. I don't care if you like my commentary or not. That game is just absolutely a great time. But I'm having a good time doing this style of content, both like on stream and on these videos. And I hope you guys are enjoying watching it. Oh, you see that? We got a little bit of the Wooks walk in there. Not really, because we were like going out of range like you're supposed to, but we also still do have this shark on the ground, so let's pick that up. And we should be able to get this kill. And I think we will do one more. One more kill. Unless we die here. I said we're going to get this kill, and I'm sitting here at 2.8% health. There we go. With, if that still hits me. Die, please. I don't want to die. Okay, thank God. That would have been not embarrassing. Because just talking about it's embarrassing. Like, I mean, nothing is embarrassing when I do it live, because you know my thought process, but it would have been tilting at the very least. So we are going to do one more kill, I think. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of a price check to see how much we've made. Over 14 kills, just to give you an idea of what to expect. That's not really what my goal is in this video, but that might be interesting, I guess. So let's do one more kill and then call it a day. But yeah, just to wrap up that thought, I hope you guys are enjoying this style of video. In addition to my other stuff, I mean, I'm still doing high effort videos. I had I made a hunter video that took me, you know, literally all Saturday and some of Friday. So I mean, it's not like I'm just making some easy to produce content, but it is something I've enjoyed doing. Plus, I bought this new microphone, and I feel like the more I use it, the more its value is. The more value I get out of it in general. But I mean, I can't just say like, oh, I bought a new mic. Like I have this thing where I really like computer peripherals. I can never pronounce that word, but like keyboards and mice, like I mean, I have a normal job. Like I have a job that pays me money. Like it's not like I'm breaking the bank to buy this stuff, but it's just like what I enjoy spending my personal like spend money on, or fun money. I guess some people call it. I don't call it that, but I guess some people do. I enjoy spending it on like keyboards and mice. And like one thing I want to do once I have a lot of money to spend is like build my own keyboard. I think that would be really fun. So we didn't have Piety on for that last hit, so we get 0 specs. Again, I should just take the extra time to turn Piety back on, but I not panic, but it's just like I feel the need to get out of melee range as fast as possible, just in case he does a sky attack. But yeah, so like this microphone, I don't want to say I didn't buy it for making videos, because obviously that's what I use my microphone for the most. But just in general, I like having nice equipment. And, you know, if I can afford it based on the money that I budget myself for free spending, so it's not like I'm, you know, gimping my future or whatever because I bought this microphone. But I do feel like I get more inherent value out of it when I make more content. But I don't want to say that's like the driving force for me making all this extra content. It's just a nice supplement. I really need to start turning my prayer off during those. Not that I'm ever like in need of prayer, because I always end a kill with 1 to 2 doses left. But it'd be a good habit to get into for when I do start doing multi-kill trips. Unless I end up doing, you know, the good old high risk, high reward mechanic. And then I would want to keep my prayer on, so I have rigor active, but that's much farther down the road. I don't see myself going past either the head or 50 KC, whichever comes first. I don't see myself going past that anytime soon. At least not until well after Inferno. I mean, so far I am enjoying this boss more than I personally enjoy Zulrah. So if I had the option of like, oh, I need to make money, I don't have anyone to do raids with. Do I do Zulrah or do I do Vorkath? I'm gonna pick Vorkath as of right now, 100% of the time. Like, my kills are slow, so it might be slower GP per hour, but Zulrah can honestly just suck a dick. Like, it's not something I particularly enjoy at this moment. I just do it because I have to. I don't even have that much KC, so it's not like I've done like, oh, 2k KC and I'm just sick of doing it. I have like 200 KC or something. It's just not an encounter I like. It was fun learning, I guess, because it does have a pretty steep learning curve if you're new to PvM, which I was at the time. But then once you learn it, it's kind of just like, I don't want to say boring, but uninteresting. It's like the mechanics do damage for the sake of doing damage. At least at this boss, like the mechanics do damage, but it's for a reason. Like, I don't have just tiny snakelings doing random damage to me. I have, you know, these green piles of poison doing damage to me, or those fireballs doing, like, they're mechanics that I understand and appreciate, and they're not just thrown in to do extra damage. So that's probably why I'm right now enjoying this boss more than I enjoy a boss like Zulrah. And I would say, like, in general, even some of the older bosses have mechanics that, you know, have purpose. I just, personally, I don't like the design of Zulrah as an encounter. Now, I don't want to talk about the drops, because that's another discussion for another time, but just, like, the encounter in general, give or take. Like, take it or leave it, I guess is the correct expression. You know, I don't hate it. I think it's a great designed boss. I think there's a lot of interesting mechanics to it, but I think, especially once you learn them, it's so mechanical to where it's just almost uninteresting. And I don't think the randomness doesn't make a boss non-mechanical. The mechanicalness of Zulrah is, and the semi-frustration with Zulrah is the fact that it's, like, not unavoidable, but just the damage doesn't always make sense. Like, oh, I got hit by a snakeling for a 15 instead of a 1. Like, oh, I took damage. Like, opposed to Vorkath, when, oh, I took damage because I stood in the wrong thing. It's more skill-based than just luck. But that's another rant for another BossCast episode. Maybe a Zulrah BossCast episode where we just complain about the encounter the entire time. How's that sound? If you're watching at this point and that sounds interesting, let me know. I'm 100% on board with complaining for 30 minutes. Trust me, I do it. I do it often. So we're going to do a little bit of a price check here just to see how much we've made in 14 kills. Just to see where we sit. I know it's a very terrible sample size because it's so few kills. We could have gotten very lucky or unlucky just a few times and throws off numbers completely. But we've made about 2 mil. I don't want to say made profit because we've spent some on supplies, but we've got about 2 mil in drops, which isn't bad. For one thing, pays for my deaths. The 4 deaths I had earlier on, 100% pays for that. Pays for the supplies, so I'm not losing out on money. And it's made a little bit of profit to up my cash stack a little bit, which will get instantly turned into blood and death runes for the Inferno. But that is it for this video. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys did enjoy this little commentary podcast, PvM, what experience, whatever you want to call it. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you do want to see more of these, please let me know. Let me know what specific boss you find interesting. And if it's something I want to do, I'll go ahead and satisfy your appetite for viewing. But that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you next time.